what is happening, what has happened at Liverpool Football Club. We've gone from challenging for the title to losing, just losing games, not playing well, not deserving to win, not trying to win nearly. In our last 6 games, we have 2 wins. We drew with United, we then lost to Atlanta, lost to Crystal Palace. We beat Atlanta 1-0, which I think a lot of Liverpool fans alike will agree doesn't even count as a win because we needed 3 goals anyway, and we still got knocked out of the competition. And just the performance wasn't a good performance. I mean, Atlanta didn't need to score. They didn't want to score. It's not like we actually went out and beat them 1-0. We got a penalty. We couldn't score from open play. We then went to Fulham. We won that 3-1 again. I went, okay, maybe we're going to start at least trying to try to get back to where we were to an extent. And then we go to the Merseyside derby, one of the biggest fixtures on the calendar for Liverpool. It's not a huge game usually in terms of, because Everton are quite low down the table. They're kind of struggling. So people won't even say it's a big derby. But to Everton, of course, they're going to show up. They're going to try to ruin our season. We've gone there just so naively and just lost 2-0. It's not even the loss or these losses. It's the manner in which we're losing. If you go back to some games, for example, the Man City game at Anfield, again, we were still playing well. And we drew the game, and we didn't deserve to draw the game. I think we should have won it. We just couldn't take chances. I think Luis Diaz had about 4 or 5 chances to kill the game, just couldn't. Darwin and Salah the same, I think. But the reason I'm saying that is because we had chances and we were playing well. We just we couldn't finish as such. Whereas these last 5-6 games, it's not just finishing. It's creating. It's intensity. It's wanting to win the ball, wanting to beat your man to the ball, wanting to win. Win a header in your own box, at least in the opposition box. You look at our squad and our goal scorers, for example. Up top we have Salah, Núñez and Diaz, right? They've roughly been starting because Jota has unfortunate injury problems, and Gakpo, although he's been playing well the last 2 or 3 games, he was quite poor the majority of the season. I don't want to go into too many stats of XG and goals per 90 and all this kind of bullshit, but if you look at the goals from our forwards, right? Salah, he's obviously well up there, but the interesting one is Jota and Núñez, right? Jota has missed a substantial amount of the season, and he has 8 goals. Darwin has 9. 1 more goal. Jota has barely started, barely played. When he does play, he comes off the bench, and he still has the same amount of goals nearly as Darwin Núñez. I love Núñez, and I have backed him. We've all defended him, but it's getting to the stage where, even though I don't want to say it, but it's so hard to defend him, and you can't defend him anymore. It's indefensible. He is the indefensible at the moment with the chances he's missing. Last year he was this erratic kind of player, and people said he was not the finished product, but you can see the potential, the chaotic, he makes defenses work hard to try to keep him quiet. And this season we thought he'll be better. And he started very good, and he's gotten to that stage again now where there's no improvement. His upward, his trajectory has kind of just flatlined. He's still missing chances. He gets a goal every 7 games. Who is to blame? I don't think it's Klopp. I mean, when Klopp announced that he was leaving, I thought this gave the players a kind of sense of, oh, Klopp's leaving. We've been with him for years. Let's give him a send off. Let's really work hard for this manager, and whatever happens the season after, whether players depart the club or stay on, they'll do it for Klopp. They'll do it for themselves. They'll do it for the fan base. But for Klopp, some of the performances from some of these players these last few weeks have been horrendous. Like Dominic Szoboszlai, bring me back to October when he was cooking. He was doing so well, and now you look now, it's awful. It's not even skill. Again, potential. His ceiling is very high. He's still very young, and I think next season he will be very good again. But right now it's like he's not even trying. He just walking around making horizontal backwards passes. Last night the same, walking around uninterested, not caring. It's a Merseyside derby, and you're walking around like it's just another game. There was only 4 games left in the season, or 5. And we were, despite the performances, we were still mathematically well within a chance for the league. All it would take was a City Arsenal slip up. And now we are most definitely out of it. And yes, Arsenal could drop points. Yes, City could drop points. Our performances we're not going to win the rest of our games. We have to host Spurs, and our record against them is so good, but we're not going to beat them. It's just a very disappointing kind of send-off for Klopp, in my opinion. I mean, we have a cup, which is better than we did last year, of course. We got the Carabao Cup, some call it the Mickey Mouse Cup. I nearly cried when we won it. I was in Wembley, but that's not the point. It's still a kind of a Mickey Mouse Cup, as they say. We got dumped out of the FA Cup, dumped out of the Europa League and Premier League. Where's in our hands? We have spent the most time on top of the Premier League. To give us some slack, we were not expected to be in this position whatsoever. Last season we were, fifth, scrope fifth. We missed out in Champions League, missed out in the top four spot. But yeah, we massively overachieved at the start of the season. I'm not saying we overachieved as in we were lucky, but we were performing so well. During the summer, we cleared out that midfield. We got rid of 4 or 5 players and we completely rebuilt it. We brought in 4 new midfielders: Dominic Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister, Wataru Endo, and Ryan Gravenberch. And to be fair, the majority of those signings have been very good. McAllister, again, started slow, but that's because we had no 6 and he had to play the 6, and that's not his natural position. But, McAllister's now has been one of the best players in the league. He was trying last night. He's unbelievable. And then Dominic Szoboszlai, who started well, has dropped off. Ryan Gravenberch, who he's had an okay season. He hasn't really had the chance to start in the Premier League, really, because, he didn't quite make it into that midfield. Even with Jones and Elliott, for example. Endo has been very good. Again, these last few weeks, he's dropped off a small bit, but not as much of a drop off as Szoboszlai. You wouldn't say Endo's playing terribly, but he was just playing so well before. 4 or 5 games left now. Let's just finish strong. Make sure that top 4. Don't let Villa or Spurs catch us. That would be embarrassing, to be honest. And talks of a new manager coming in, which I won't name till it's confirmed. I don't want to jinx it. But I'm also excited for the new season. That's just my rough opinion of what's kind of happened, why it's happening maybe. There's no reason to believe it's going to stop. We're probably going to play shit for the next 3-4 games, to be honest. Just bring on the next season, please.